Yo,
What's happening, my brother? My brother, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm all right. Thank God I made it through another week. It was exhausting, brother. It was exhausting, but I made it. I'm happy, and I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
To be honest with you, man, I can't really complain, man. Um, it's been it's been one of those weeks, man.
Right, right.
It's been one of those weeks, so just taking it one day at a time. Trying to figure things out.
That's all
Um,
we can do.
yeah, man. But other than that, man, to be honest with you, I don't know. It's just one of those weeks, man. I don't know. It's just one of those weeks. I kind of like seen something that was. I seen a couple of things that was really disturbing today. Um,
Today? Okay.
Yeah, which I shared it on Facebook. I talked about I shared it on my page where the president of the United States was going back and forth with the president of Ukraine, and their
Right.
interaction was a little bit disturbing to me from both sides. But I seen that and I shared that on Facebook, and then the whole Steve Smith thing, you know, him getting
Mhm.
exposed for sleeping with a married woman and the man
Right.
exposing him, and I was just like, wow. So it was one of those weeks, man. I'm sure it
How
was one
you
of those
feel
weeks.
about that though?
As far as which one?
The Steve Smith situation and the husband putting him on blast.
To be honest with you, um, it's one of those things where I don't know how I feel about that because everybody have their own way of
Right.
feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or I said it before, and I told you, before we get on these podcast episodes, I always say, I said, I have learned to meet people where they are without passing judgment.
Right.
You know
So
what I'm
you don't have
saying?
no opinion on it. It's not to say you
I mean, I
judging.
have an
I got an
opinion on it.
opinion.
I have an opinion on it. I think that's really pretty messed up from both sides, from all three sides, to be honest with you, from Steve Smith, because you just didn't mess up one marriage, or at least help contribute to messing up one marriage. You also possibly mess up your own home.
Right.
And that guy, I feel like, this is something that could have been done with it having out to go to social media platform. I feel like this is a conversation that you don't expose to the rest of the world. This is a conversation you have as a civilized adults. And talk about this without having it to, put him on blast because really it made you look really bad too as well. Because if your wife is out there talking to another man like that and doing things with another man like that, that tells you that she's not satisfied, or she's what you present to her is not enough for her to be able to, stay in the bedroom with just you and not having to go into the bedroom with another man. But it's so many ways we can go with this comment. That's a whole different podcast on its
Yeah.
own.
So to me, what Steve Smith did was definitely wrong because he hurt somebody, destroyed somebody, but and they family, you know what I'm saying? Possibly. My thing is though, like I said, from the husband, and I just feel like take your ball and go sit down somewhere, man. You know?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel the same way. Makes you look bad. And then maybe that's just me. Maybe that's the old school me or the mentality of me. It's like, we gonna get into this later, but it's like we have to really stop making people our idols, man. You know, it's things like that hurt. Don't get me wrong. So you feel betrayed, you'll feel messed up, but at the same time, you gotta sit back sometimes and you look at it and be like, it was what it was. I take what I take from it. Yeah, what we built and stuff like that maybe is over with now, but this is not my whole world. This is not the end of it. And I think once we start breaking those trains of thoughts and that logic to sitting
Hmm.
back, people thinking that this is my world. This is like having people worshiping people as their idols and like, oh, you are my everything. Then what I'm saying, the Bible say, put not your trust in no man.
Yeah.
I used to tell people all the time, I just want to be the cherry on top. I don't want to be everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you take a situation like that and you're looking at it, but let me ask you a question.
What's that?
You said something earlier. I should have wrote it down because I got you. I'm used to trying to get used to taking notes while we do this podcast, right? And you said something about the woman, whereas though you was like sympathizing with her,
Sympathizing with what woman?
with the wife. You
Oh no, I don't
sympathizing with the
sympathize.
wife.
Hell no, I don't sympathize with her.
I
No.
think no. It was something you said. I don't know why I can't remember it, but
I said in regards to her perspective, like it shows that the man is not enough to please her in the bedroom, because it shows that when he exposed that aspect of the text messages and everything, it exposed the fact that whatever his performance or lack of his performance in the bedroom is not enough for her to just keep herself in the bedroom, because she feel the need that the way that she talk, I can guarantee you this. Those text messages, those racy text messages and those explicit text messages that she was responding and sending to Steve Smith, I guarantee you that she's not sending the same text messages and receiving those text messages from her husband.
Wow.
I'll tell you this, though. I'll tell you this. Majority of married men are boring. Majority of married men are boring. That's what it really boils down to. And we're only boring. Yeah, I know though. I know that for a fact. And the reason why I said we're boring to some degree is because remember, when you go from chasing or courting a woman, when you're in that courting process, you are at your freakiest. You are your your peak. You are the peak of your game. You're doing everything extra. You giving her you're doing everything that you can possibly do to court her.
The thrill of the chase.
The thrill of the chase, right?
Right.
There's only a select few of husbands and wives that when they get caught or they get chased down, that they are able to maintain that in the relationship. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not so much about, cheating per se, or, not being satisfied per se. It can also be from the fact that there is no thrill within the relationship. And that's why if you talk to a lot of older couples who's been married for like 25 years, 30 years, they say you got to keep your marriage fresh. What do they mean by that? That means you got to keep doing the things that you were doing that attracted each other to you, yourselves to each other. You know what I'm saying? So if it's like, coming home with the bath water running and all that, that's one of the things that you caught her with, then that's what you got to continue to do. Now, the reason why I said most men in marriages are boring is because we have the world on our shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us, we get so caught in being a man and providing, we forget to provide for the very person that we chose above everybody else. So some of us, we get complacent. And when you get complacent in a marriage or in a relationship, these are some of the things that can happen. Now, not necessarily saying that it's right, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is it's always a key, or there's always a reason as to why something happened. I'm pretty sure if you ask that woman, that married woman, from her perspective, right? I'm pretty sure she's going to tell you, I've given him hints, I have done this, I've done that. She probably going to have her side of the story. We only looking at it from one side. And the text messages, he only picked bits and pieces of the text messages to expose Steve Smith. You know what I'm saying? So this is not an issue with Steve Smith. I'm not looking at Steve Smith because he has something that he has to deal with on his side too. This has something more to do with that young man and that young lady, their relationship, and what's going on in the relationship. There's something that has led up to this, to where she feel the need that she can step out of her marriage to be with another man. And you can tell by her explicit response, she actually loved the style of attention sexually that Steve Smith was actually providing her, because it would have been clear if she said, oh, if he would like, well, I cash out you $10,000. So we know she's not doing it for money, because there's nothing that he exposed that said Steve Smith sent her some money or bought her lavish gifts. It was more so like a physical attraction, and it's a sexual relationship. So that tells me it's something dealing with their sexual relationship from that side, as to why maybe from the outside looking in to be exposed to it is saying that maybe that's why she stepped out.
Right. Well, I'll say this, man, and because we did jump right into that. You said a lot of good things that we probably hopefully get back over. But if you're a married woman and you need a thrill, go rob a bank, man. No, I ain't trying to hear that. If you're married and you need a thrill, go rob a bank, man. I would say you got to establish some communication boundaries.
Yeah.
Not I'm saying, I'm saying it's a joke, man. But the reason why, and another reason why I said it, because as a man, and it's weird. Like, this world is weird, bro. It's weird. Like, I just hear and I see different things, and it's like, oh, you're a woman sympathizer. Like, what is a woman sympathizer? And it's funny because a lot of things we're going to talk about, we're probably going to come across as we're sympathizing for women. But I just find it amazing men's mindset nowadays to sit back and just attack as if there's not two stories to that. The reason why I will never, hardly ever address a woman's, I guess, perspective, because I'm too busy worrying about men. And I also believe there's a lot of us that just really forgot who we were and what we were, what we supposed to stand for and what we're about. So the OGs back in the day, and big bro, shout out to Jomo, he told me, man, a little incident happened over the summertime. One time we were standing there, and he was like, man, you never argue with a woman. And he said, back and think about it. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because you're never going to win, but the Bible even speaks about things like that. You know what I'm saying? Just being in contentious relationships and, arguing with fools. And I'm not saying women are fools, but it's like when your emotional state gets very high, logic goes out of the window. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I look at it like that from a lot of perspectives, mainly because Antichrist, Christ, everything Christ said is good, Antichrist said is bad. So I look at like, what is the complete opposite of having an intellectual conversation is when your emotions are very high. You know what I'm saying? When your emotions are very high, intellect and logic goes completely out of the window, because now you're talking from your state of being, your feelings, And so that's where I try to stay away from that. So arguing with a woman, and then you get on a public platform and try to argue with them and just go back and forth and try to make them look bad and say certain things. I just think that is not a man's place. That's just me personally. Because my thing is, like, for instance, back in the day, right? A man and a woman have a situation or issue, right? You're not going to deal with that man. That woman. You're going to go and talk to her husband. And you're going to deal with that man and have a talk with that man. But see, that's the problem. One of the things that's missing nowadays is because they feel as though, I'm just going to address this woman. I'm going to address this woman down. Like, you don't get any points for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, unless she about like 6'8", 350 and full of muscles, you know what I'm saying, and she's stepping in your face, I still probably wouldn't hit her, because I probably would lose. And I ain't going to lose. Walk away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no excuse, man, to do something like that and dress down and argue with a woman. So that's not something that I try to practice, that I try to practice with. You know what I'm saying? Most times I'm like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it's in a situation, you'll look at certain situations sometimes. It's like, especially if she said you got a man, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why you like that. And if he's okay with you walking around presenting yourself like that as a woman, then there's no need to even address the man in that situation. So you just walk. Sometimes you just gotta take an L. That's not something they're gonna tell you. Just take an L.
Hey yo, it's funny because remember, I called you on Sunday and I told you what happened at church, right?
Right.
But before we get into that, man, we already get into it. Hey man, welcome to Finding Orders podcast, man. This is a live interactive podcast. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Shout out to everybody on TikTok that's joining in. If you do come on, please share this live. It costs you nothing. The message may not be for you, but it may be for somebody else. If you come on, please do me a favor, share this live. We on YouTube too as Finding Orders podcast. So today's topic is the foundations of a relationship. And we started off the conversation, for those who are joining in. We started off talking about the whole Steve Smith situation, not to really even talk about that because that's not the topic of our conversation today, but it is a question that was asked, like, well, what are my thoughts about it? And I gave my perspective on it. But remember, I talked to you on Sunday, and we talked about going back to what you just said, as far as like, if something happened between you and another woman, you're not going to go in and address the woman. You actually going to take an L, because you automatically know this is what the man got to already deal with, right? So remember, I called you and I was like, yo, I got a vent because of something that happened in church. Right. So what happened on church was, my son plays the drums for the church. This is something that he's been blessed with as far as his talent wise. My son is only 12, just turned 12 years old. He's been playing for the church, not as a full-time drummer, but as a part-time drummer for the church. But he do plays certain sections or certain parts of the church services. So he played pretty much the worship side of church. So he had a bad he had a bad experience while playing last week Sunday. So he knew he was off key, because Africans, we swear we can sing. No daggone well we ain't got no vocals. That's just what it is. We can't sing. We never stay on key. But anyways, so he had a bad experience of it. So him being 12 years old, he's going to look for his father. So he got up from the drums after they were done. He came over and he was down. So as a father, even though it's church time, I'm still trying to console him like, yo, it's okay. You did okay. Blase, blase. You know what I'm saying? In the process of me talking to him, trying to calm his spirit down to say, hey, you're doing a great job, to motivate him to go back and sit there. Now I'm finding out one of the elders of the church, his wife, it's an usher. So she comes up yelling in my ear during service, by the way. He has to go and sit down. He has to go and sit down. And I'm like, first of all, I'm staring straight, but I'm still talking to my son from the side, but I'm still trying to pay attention to what's going on. So I'm just trying to calm him down as a father, like, all right, just take it easy, go sit down. She comes like just screaming. He has to go and sit down. He can't come over here. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what? You know, because I'm expecting my son's voice, not a whole woman's voice yelling at me in the midst of everybody in the congregation that's sitting around me, right? So one, you put me at a tough situation at that point, right? So I'm still maintaining my cool. Then another usher come over. He's also yelling. So I'm like, hold on, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I asked myself, yo, what's the problem? I'm whispering like, what's the problem? What did he do wrong? What did I do wrong? If it's a rule of something that has changed, right? Let me know so that way I can inform my son, because we haven't been to this church before. This is our second time coming to this church. So if something is going on, it's simple as you can pull me out and say, hey, can I talk to you outside? Or you can wait between service and then say, hey, brother, let me talk to you. Or you can wait till after church and then talk to me. Say, hey, bro, there's a new policy where we don't want people walking in front of the church when service is going on. Mind you, there's about 10, 15 other people that walked in front of the church, right?
Right.
So I got heated because once I walked outside from that initially, they were still talking about it in the backs, outside of the church, outside of the congregation, right? So I went outside and I said, yo, y'all still talking about it. What's the problem? What did he do wrong? Because now my son is crying, saying he don't even want to go back and sit there and play the drums. She immediately got loud again. So I looked at it and I said, all right, I got two options. I can go back and forth with you, or like you said, I can take an L to some degree and walk away. So I took the L to some degree. Even I say, yo, you disrespected me. I tell you, you disrespected me in the middle of church, right? I wanted to call her some type of name in my language to refer to her as the devil, because to me, I felt like you taking away the purpose of me coming here away from me because of something minute like that. So I immediately took the L. Now, the reason why I stopped talking is because exactly what you just said. I looked at it as, if you talk to me as a man in that manner in the church, I can only imagine how you talk to your husband, who is an elder. So that means you are presided, you are an elder's wife. So you are regarded to some degree to have class, respect, and presentation, because you're not just a presentation of yourself, you also a representation of your husband, who it has a ranking in the church, right? So I took the L and I said, oh, if this is how you talk to your husband, I mean, if this is how you talk to me, I can only imagine how you talk to your husband behind closed doors. So you know what? I'm not going to talk to you, because I already know, like you said, taking that L, I already know how you and your husband communicate, because the way you communicating with me, I'm not even your husband, and you talking to me like that with lack of respect, I can only imagine how you talk to him behind closed doors. So that just to kind of like give you an idea of what you're saying, of how true it is. You don't address the woman.
Never. No man should ever address a woman.
There's no respect for the woman. It's just that some conversations, if she is a married woman, if she's in a relationship, that conversation shouldn't be between you and her. It should be between you and that man. But the only reason why I said for that Steve Smith situation, I said it was a conversation that all three of them should have had, minus social media.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That was my take on that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like getting everybody caught up. But today's topic is foundation of relationship, because I think a lot of us, we're missing the actual base, the basic foundation of the relationship. And I think that's why today we decide, or Aaron decides, so you know what, let's talk about this. And this is coming from a video that I shared on Facebook that kind of like jump started the whole conversation about, going back to the foundations of relationship.
Right. So let's put a what they say, we're gonna put this notice out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know why my brain ain't working tonight. We're gonna say that no one person's idea is right. That's just me. They had to say it because each his own. So however you decide to manage and build your relationship, here on the Finest Notice podcast, we're not going to judge you. We're not going to make fun of you or any of those things. That's just your perspective and how you view your relationship. What we're about to talk about and what we're about to discuss and say certain things is just a different perspective and a different angle that, a different way of looking at it, and not only that, I think more mature and more older people will actually divulge and agree with what we have to say. I believe that most people that's rooted in reality will agree with what we're about to say. And I'm not saying other people aren't rooted in reality. It's just that certain rules in today's society, it allows a lot of flexibility. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So let me go ahead to this. Here it is. Yep. All right, we good?
Yeah, you good. I can see it.
All right, so here we go. Let's skip it and go back.
Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
You believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4". Only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over $100K a year. And I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if you're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
What's your math say?
Conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. They lead with love, not with dictatorship. They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself, supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman.
Modern day.
All right. So I'm going to play that one real quick, right? Just to give an overview. But I want to stop it here because I think when you posted on Facebook, first, when you posted on Facebook, it got a lot of feedback and comments on it, right? Mm-hmm. So, first of all, how do you feel about that real quick before I run it back? Like your overall point of view when you heard that.
So when I heard it, right, all I saw, to be honest with you, I saw an ignorant man. Right. I saw a very prideful man, not in the prideful in the sense that it was a humble pride, but it was more like a boastful pride in the man who is pretty much
arrogant.
Yeah, like an arrogant. There you go. That's the correct word. So he was arrogant about his success. And I felt like she humbled him with wisdom. Now, I know the response that we got was, one of the response was from Deron was like, well, all he saw was a selfish woman. I don't think she was selfish. I think she was trying to educate the brother on that. It's not your financial stability. Now you got to understand there's there's a couple of types of women and a couple of types of men here in this world too as well. Some of the women out here are materialistic. They're driven by financial stability. They're driven by your social class. They're driven by your overall looks, your height. So physical attraction are some of these things that some women go for. And then you have real women that look beyond some of these things, that look up for the complete makeup of a man and what a man is supposed to be able to provide them in that sense, right? This brother right here is pretty much just selling himself as if he's a piece of meat, right? Well, would you consider yourself as the top tier man? Oh, well, I'm 6'4". I guess I'm not a tier man because I'm not even close to 6'4". So check me off the list. That's another reason why I felt like I had to post it, because
It
bro
didn't
shut
get
me
past
down.
number one, bro.
Man, he shut me down. I couldn't get past number one. Number two was he makes 6 figures, right? Then he said, I don't even have no kids, and I'm a black man at that. So that means right there, he's already like he's already checking off his list. If that's the case, then why don't he have a woman? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, well, if you got all these things and this is what makes you a top tier man, then you should have like 1,000 women lined up for you right now, brother.
Hey, the
And
sad
that's me
part about
waiting for the scraps if I wasn't, if I wasn't married. I would be waiting for the scraps because you said for 6'8", 6'4". Oh, man, brother, push about 5'7", 5'8".
the crazy part about him is he probably do got 1,000 women lined up, but ain't none of them he gonna marry.
There
That's
you go.
the crazy part about it, so
Yeah, but that's what I feel like she spoke wisdom to his ignorance.
So I'm gonna say something because I remember something that a lady told me years ago. It was almost like 10 years ago, and she said the first time I got married was for love. The second time is for money. I said, whoa. But still let me know how far out the ballpark I was.
Yeah.
The first time I got married was for love. The second time it was about money. And I said, wow, okay. So you're right. There are some people out there just fascinated with that. But I'm going to play this first part again because you touched on it. And I want to break it down and pause it as he say that as how I felt about it, right?
Women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
Okay. He said top tier women, what did he say? Modern day women don't qualify for top 10 men. And he said that's the truth, but that's his truth. We got to understand, people got to understand that truth is really subjective when you skewing information or looking at it from a certain lens. Because that's not rooted in fact. In fact, I know a bunch of, like how you classify them as real women that don't want none of this stuff this man is about to say. You know what I'm saying? So that's that.
If you're a top tier man, by what standard?
I'm 6'4". Only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year. And I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if you're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
All right. Second point to me. Women are also attracted to men that listen. Women are also attracted to men that is sensual and pays attention and thoughtful, which is none of the things that he said. He didn't say, not one time, any real qualities or attributes that he possessed to say what this young lady is about to say, I'm fostering a nurturing environment so that a woman can live in her essence. A woman can live in her nature as a soft, nurturing woman. He didn't say none of those things. But the foundations and the qualifications, it's even funny to me because you have a man telling a woman that modern women don't qualify for him when all the stuff that he listed was so that he can attract a woman. That is in my mind, like the thing that blows my mind the biggest when you really sit down and listen to this nonsense. How is it that you know everything that a woman desires as a man, not married, assuming that he's not married, but don't mention all the real things though? That's the part that really blew my mind. Like, how is it that you can sit up here and say, I'm 6'4", I got money. These are all the things that women is attracted to. But you a man, how the heck you know?
You know why?
You thing saying, "Oh, you mansplaining things to me." I think that's the definition of mansplaining. I guess I don't know, but that's weird to me.
You know why? When you break it down like you did, I didn't catch this even the first time around. He said modern women, so that means he is also a modern man because he's attracting to the modern. He's speaking to the modern women, and if he's speaking on them, then yes. About 50 to 60% of them, they are attracted to these things that he's talking about, right? Because when you ask a typical woman right now, not a typical, I don't want to say typical because it sounds like I'm downing. when you ask a woman right now, right? Like a woman right now, like, what is your ideal soulmate or your ideal mate, right? Oh, he got to be 6. That he ain't lying. A lot of women, right? That height is a very big thing. Height. He has to have money. He has to look good. Women really ain't even. A lot of women ain't even really talking about the essentials of the relationship that you just talked about. That the nurturing.
Well, I must be in the wrong part of town because every woman I ever met, that's all they met with.
But you're not talking about modern women by society.
You're right. I don't. You're right.
You get what I'm saying?
He
is talking about the modern woman by the society standard of what a modern woman is today. He is only speaking to that few small percentage. Go back to let's go into the women's side, right? For real quick.
All right.
Remember when all this BBL stuff started? Women changing up their appearances and all of that, right? You get what I'm saying? They're altering what they look like. They're going from natural looks to made up looks, right? Because quote unquote, this is what the modern man is attracted to. You get what I'm saying? So he's speaking to
that's funny. I never looked at it from that angle, but that's
interesting. Speaking to that percentage. Hold up. So I got somebody on TikTok right now said, what's wrong with him being confident or his confidence? It's nothing wrong with that. But you gotta understand, bro, it's not about him being confident. There's something about being confident, right? And actually speaking, when you speak, and you can't speak for every woman, you can't speak for every man. If he would have said just him, this is what I present for a woman that I'm attracted to, then the conversation is really simple. It's directed towards a one particular side. But when you speak about all modern women, that is not true. That's not true because your woman ain't looking for all of that stuff that he talked about. You get what I'm saying? So it's not something wrong about being confident. You can walk in your confidence, but walk in confidence with the right integrity, because he is also going to be the same type of a man that's going to say these women ain't attracted to nothing but guys who got money, cars, and can provide for them. He's going to be the same person complaining because he's the same person attracting the same very own woman that he's going to be talking about in a couple of episodes down the line somewhere. So it's not about having confidence.
Go right on out.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. This is where I would say growing up on rap music is very helpful. Fact. And I don't know how old the person that made that comment is, but I think this is the biggest difference, I want to say, from my generation to younger generation. And I think that the men in my generation probably forgot these things, right? I remember old Kanye West song said, she on her independent-ish, but she had traded all in for a husband and some kids.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, I don't really know too many women that first of all, I think the percentage of women that don't want kids is just very small. I think the percentage of the professional woman and that woman that had that idea of I'm high end, I just want to be auntie. I think that's a very small percentage of people, because in all reality, you're going against the nature in which you were created. You were created to be a nurturer. You were created to be soft. So now you're fighting your very own creation and how you were created. And that's another thing that I feel like we forget as people, because we go along with just modern day anything that we forget where we come from, and we forget the whole reason why we're supposed to be doing it. So now we allow other people to change the rules, which I was talking to my big bro about about a month ago. And he was saying the same thing, like, hey, man, these women out here saying, you ain't a man and this, that, and the other. But I said, but you being an elder statesman, because he's older than me, and you have a young man that comes to you and will say these things to you about those particular things, why would you sit back and allow him to believe that's the truth? But again, what we were saying earlier, I'm going to address the man. I'm never going to address the women. And unfortunately, most men have a tendency to want to address women in that situation. Oh, man, she's stupid. Oh, they dumb. I heard somebody say something earlier. It was hilarious, but, I ain't going to really repeat it. It was he said, I don't know. He said something wild, bro. And I never heard it before. It was like saying a bust down or a jump off, but it was some mad disrespectful in a way, kind of crazy way he said that. And I'm just like, but why would I tell a man or let a man to sit back and allow a woman to dictate who he is as a man? But see, that's where they lost that, because people do it so often that then they turn around and they start attacking them. Now, I'm not saying there's a difference between a woman stating what she desires in a man and what she's looking for in a man, kind of like how you explained it with that gentleman there. And it's another one and there's a big difference when you allow a woman to look at you and tell you you're not a man because of those things. That's a woman dictating who you are supposed to be as a man. As we get back in this video, this woman does not do that. Like you said, she's just sharing wisdom and insight, right? To a brother, to a man who's lost in a modern day brainwash.
So you're absolutely right. So I think Boss Town, I think that's my brother right here too. I didn't even see that, but it's my brother right here. So he said, but what's wrong with him being confident, right? And we already addressed that, but he said, but most women do want all the things that the brother was saying in that video. I'm assuming, right? That's what he's saying. He said we can't deny it. You're definitely right. We're not denying that, but we're not talking about all women. No, he's denying it. Aaron is denying it. I'm not denying it because I feel like he's only talking to the modern women who are looking for a man based off of their social class and what they can present to him, right? As far as
we're saying the same thing, because he said all, and you can never be so definitive and say all as if you know all people or if you know all women. That's not wise.
Right.
That's like nowadays, unfortunately, I would say 90% of the men I know believe that all women is trash, which is weird because I'm used to hearing women say that about men. Oh, I don't trust them. They for the streets. This, that, and the other. I want to say 90% of the men I know, I hear them say that, and I just sit back sometimes and I look at them and be like, that's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. So you can't say all and make it a definitive statement and make it seem like, y'all know or know all women. No, maybe all the women. And I can't even say that because some of these people on the internet you can't even take serious. Some of the people on the internet is just a show. It's not even real. So I still can't say all women.
Right. So let me throw something out there. We talking about foundations of a relationship, right? So we talking about the foundation of what makes a relationship, right? So when I first started dating Dana, right? Let me tell you how I even ended up being with Dana to the point where I'm married to Dana, right?
All right.
It was another girl from Coppin that I was seeing prior to me actually meeting up with Dana. Okay.
Oh, Dana, bad.
So when I first was dating this girl, right, I really wanted to be with this girl because physically at that time she was like the physical attraction is the same thing as with my wife, right? So it wasn't something different as far as like their physical attraction from both sides, right? But I really wanted to be with her because at that time before I started talking to Dana, I really wanted to be with her. This is my girl. I wanted to be in a relationship. She told me, she said she's not ready to settle down yet. At that time of my life, I'm ready to settle down. She wasn't. She still wanted to go out to the club. She still wanted to go out and come, which was fine with me at the beginning because she would go out, come home like 2 o'clock. She lived in Baltimore. She'll drive all the way down to my place in Bladensburg, Maryland, right? She'll come spend the night over there after she then came back from the club. So she was still coming home, right? The problem was, at that time of my life, I was looking to settle down. I knew what I wanted and what I was looking for, right? So one day I get on Facebook, right? And when I get on Facebook, I get into a situation where I see Dana on Facebook. So I message her. Messaged her to make long story short. I went to go meet up with her, and then boom, we started talking, right? So now my cousin knows that I'm talking to this other chick, and now he knows that I'm talking to Dana, right? And the only reason I'm calling her a chick, not to be disrespectful, but I just don't want to put her name out there because you probably know who she is. Everybody probably know who she is if you went to Coppin, right? So she's still feeling me. I'm feeling her, but she's not ready to settle down with me. So my cousin come home one day, right? Mind you, we was hustling at that time, right? So we really didn't have no food in the house. We was out on the corner all day, right? And really, the house was just the house. It's the dude's crib. It's my apartment. So Dana would come over. Dana would clean. She would wash the dishes. Mind you, she's not my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend. So she would come over. She would do all these things, right? And then when she's coming from work, she would bring dinner home every single night. Wow. So one day she came over, did everything, she cleaned up, and she left. And my cousin said, "Hey, yo, man, why are you playing with her like that?" I'm like, "What you mean?" He said, "Why are you trying to commit to this girl when really this is the girl that you really need to be committed to?"
Right.
I said, mind you, she's doing I see this, but I have not acknowledged that. Right? So I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Man, she come over, she cooks, she clean up the kitchen. You don't ask her, the bathroom and everything is cleaned up. And she brings us food every single day. She calls us and bring food every single day." You know what he told me? He said, "This is a wife material." Mind you, we're not even boyfriend and girlfriend. We just playing, we just messing around. So when he said that, I started to really acknowledge everything that she was doing. I said, here I am looking and chasing this other girl, looking to settle down. These are the things that I'm looking for. These are the things that I want. This is the type of person I want to be with. She's everything that I want that I'm talking about. But here I'm chasing this person right here. Right. So guess what I did? I cut that relationship off with her, and I started paying more attention to Dana. So now, when we talk about the foundations of a relationship, it's not about being confident about what you want. Yeah, everybody's confident about what they want. Everybody know what they expect in a relationship, right? But the thing you got to ask yourself is, how are you presenting yourself to the person that you're trying to be attracted to? Because if you don't pay attention to that and you say, well, I'm going to sell myself, well, guess what? You're going to be sold. And once you get sold, you're going to find yourself at the flea market, Patastico flea market, right? Or Canal Street, trying to buy a replica when you should have got the real thing. Because the replica is going to be the one that you are attracting. Because if you want to attract a real woman, you have to present yourself as a real man. If you want to present yourself as a man who just flash money and just, man, I got this and I got that, well, guess what? You're going to get work for that. And I'm not going to get mad at the woman for working you for that. And that's why I don't feel sorry for none of these athletes that when they get big and when they make it, they leave the girl that they started with when they had nothing, with the exception of LeBron James, because that's the only person that I've seen that started with his high school sweetheart and still married to that woman to this day, right? And then they go marry these plastic-looking dolls. And then when they get work for all their millions, they get mad and they get broke. And you know what I do? Yup. I'm just waiting for the next one to go through that same situation, because they presented themselves as having that confidence, having that I'm 6'2", you know, I'm physically this, I'm making this amount of money. Well, that's fine, because what you present is what you're going to attract. And I think that's the problem, where a lot of us, we let society tell us how we should present ourselves, whether it's being a man or a woman, right? And most of the time, a woman is only going to accept what a man has been given to her. So when we talk about women being gold diggers, well, you got to understand somebody had to been paying for that. And you just happen to come along and been experiencing what somebody was already putting out there for you to go ahead and go experience.
Right.
And that's kind of like my thing.
To me, the same rules apply. Like you said, what you did to get them, that's how you got to keep it. Right? Like if you was doing all that, so I'm going to tell you a secret, because I know Dana not watching, right?
Yeah.
You said she used to come over there and clean up.
Yeah.
So why are you taking up the trash now? Same, stop playing.
Hey, nah, let me say something. The reason I don't be taking up the trash.
Let me don't mind, man. I'm just messing. Hey, Dana, I love you. I'm just messing. But no, the same thing, like you said, like, look, COVID hit, right? People lost their jobs. You know what I'm saying? People, health issues, all this other things. So what would happened if this dude get in an accident and he lose one of his legs? You ain't 6'4" no more, or you lose both your legs. You know what I'm saying? What would happen if, you know, like what was that? Like Enron in that market, the housing market crash, all these other things, your investments go up, and you back to nothing. But what you did to get that girl, you no longer can provide for her. So now guess what she's getting ready to do? I'm going to go find somebody with a bigger bag. And that's what most of them do. Most of them do that. But I honestly believe, and I could be dead wrong, you know, but I believe a lot of these dudes was really teased and picked on when they was younger, man. And so they find all of this physical awareness and all these physical attractions and all these other things. They start doing these things to try to make themselves feel good, which I also believe is the reason why the women went and got the BBLs. I could be dead wrong, because I ain't never seen no woman with a flat butt without a man. I ain't never seen a woman with no breasts not get a man. I ain't never seen a woman with no thighs not have a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it. And they say they're doing it for us, but they're doing it to compete against other women. You know what I'm saying? And it don't have nothing to do with us. Because, you know, most real men, you know what I'm saying, will tell you, I like the natural look. I like the, you know what I'm saying, all the men that's really like brainwashed and stuff like that to society. Because remember, one point in time, everybody's supposed to be looking like a skinny Barbie, right? Everybody's supposed to look like a Caucasian woman with long hair, supermodel-esque. But now everybody want to be thick, which is to me also a testament to black women, because black women is naturally built like that. You feel what I'm saying? So that just goes to show that, you know, and this is, you know, since we're on the last day of Black History Month, that's why everybody still keep trying to be us. Everybody still want to be a part of our culture and take away from us, because that's how a natural, beautiful woman is built. So now I got to go get surgeries and plastic stuff done to try to look like that. And it's for no reason, because somebody's going to love the inside of you more than the outside of you. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I know for a fact. Real women and real men is going to build together. There's no better feeling in the world to feel like you can find somebody on your level, or even not on your level, but y'all are building together, right? And that's that, man.
Hey, so Bosstown 02 on TikTok says, women state their so-called standards. Why can't men, based on social status most times? What do you got to say to that?
I would say, why is you comparing yourself to a woman and you a man? And that's the whole purpose of me saying that. When did we start comparing ourselves to women? We are men. And most times, and I don't know how old you are, but there was this old saying when I was growing up, when I was younger, getting game from the OGs. Yo, if you got it, you ain't never got to flaunt it. You know what I'm saying? If you bout that and you got it, you never had to go up, because at one point in time, women didn't even like these flashy dudes. Women didn't like it because most of the times they was overselling and underperforming. You know what I'm saying? So you out here, realistically, if you think about, I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is the exact same reason why I really don't go out. And I hope I don't crush anybody else's ego or pride. When you go out, and you used to go out every Friday, right? What was the do? What was the checklist? When you get off of work on Friday, you going out with your boys, what was the checklist?
The checklist, you trying to find somebody you can bring home.
No. What's the routine? What's the routine? Once I get off work, I'm taking a shower.
Okay, you talking about like, yeah, I'm going to throw my best fit and I'm going out. Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna get your best fit, or you're gonna buy a new outfit.
Yes. You want to hit the mall up. Yeah.
Shoes. You're gonna hit the mall up. You're gonna go see the barber. It's Friday.
Go get it shaped up. Yep.
You're gonna go get lined up. You're gonna do what you gotta do so you can go out in public. And what they wanted to make you think is you fishing, right? You're not fishing. Because you also know who do that? A clown. Think about it. What do clowns do? Clowns go and get makeup, a new outfit. They get their shoes that's not theirs. and they go in and disguise themselves and be somebody that they totally not, just to entertain other people. Last time I checked, I ain't no clown, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my thinking, in my way, in my brain. So I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that's the reason why I don't go out anymore. Because that's exactly what clowns do. Clowns go out, buy outfits. Like you see the dudes that be trying to thirst trap the gold diggers, and I'm gonna get the car. Yo, you's a clown. Every time I see dudes do that, like, you are the clown. It's like you said, you arguing with a bum or you arguing with an addict. And it's the thing, like when the Bible says you arguing with a fool, it makes you a fool. That's the reason why I try to use wisdom in everything that I do. So if a gold digger's purpose is to gold dig, why am I going to go and argue with a gold digger? Why would I go in there and try to entertain a gold digger just to make me feel better? I'm going to carry her and dump on her so I can make myself feel better. That is the most clownish thing you can possibly do, because that's what clowns do. So somebody, when they had the bucket of water and they run up on you, and there's like confetti in there.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. That's all they doing. They are clowns.
So somebody asked the question. So if we don't go out, how are we supposed to find somebody?
You can find somebody anywhere. And in fact, most of the times, if you're going out to a club, that's probably the wrong place you want to go and find somebody. See, this is where meaningful conversations with real women comes into play. Not the superficial, modern day, trashy person that don't have an identity.
I'm sorry. Why somebody said find somebody at Pentecost?
Oh, no, I ain't trying to find nobody there. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Boy, that's crazy.
I love God, man. But the reason why I say that, just a real quick note, is most people been churched too much for me.
Yeah.
Most of them people have so much church, they don't have real relationships and real, they just very religious. And I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's just religious. I want to be with somebody that has a relationship. So I say that as a joke, but that's what I mean by it, honestly. But that is the reason why, like, if you sit down and truly have real conversations and listen to people, they will tell you exactly what they're looking for and what they want. And as a man, I feel like my standard is just me. This is my standard: love, peace, joy, happiness. That's it. Love, peace, joy, happiness. I'm trying to incorporate holiness in there, but that's a struggle. But those are things. So when I meet somebody and I'm talking to them, in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna really, if you listen long enough, you will know what's in somebody's heart. So if you're coming off and you just being nasty and loud, you automatically go in the delete folder. I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna be cordial. Hey, how you doing? This, that, and the other. But there's certain people that gives it off a vibe. You'll understand the vibe that person is on. So first of all, men don't even have standards no more. And I understand, I get it, because I was raised under the assumption that, like Kirk Franklin said, you're not a man unless you have sex with multiple women. You're not a man unless you go out there and you're just running around, just plugging everything up. That's just what they teach you as a young boy. You grow up thinking that as a man. And then what I found out the hard way is that when you really find a really nice, decent person, all you're going to do is take all of your perversion and all of your mess and dump it on somebody that ain't even going to be able to handle it. Why would you take all of your crooked perversionness and your nastiness and then try to take a wholesome person, because you can't turn a hoe into the housewife, but the hose is what's built for what your lifestyle is. That makes you a hoe too.
Yeah.
That's why they keep going after the hose, because the hose is down for what your lifestyle is. Now we can't mess with them, because now we got to go find a real wholesome woman. But then what real wholesome woman would want you with all of your mess? And then you get mad when you can't find one. Oh, you get mad when they reject you. Oh, that's why you ain't this. Oh, you ain't that. You a bum. You this. Like, no, you's a clown. That's what you are, a clown.
So let me ask you this, right? Because I feel like a lot of us we really don't understand the foundation of a relationship. That
Right.
is that is something that I think is allowing people to be in relationships where, so for example, I'm not going to say no names because out of respect, right? You know me, normally I like to name drop, but I'm not going to do it out of respect. It's a couple that I know, right? I love them very much so, and I don't want to talk about them in a bad way, but I just want to talk to them from an educational aspect of this conversation. They got married not too long ago,
Right.
last year. They already separated
Wow.
in 1 year,
Wow.
right? Already in 1 year. So I asked myself, I said, well, what could have been so bad that 1 year of a relationship in marriage will end that fast, right? And when you put Philippians chapter 2 here, I think it's really, really important, right? So Philippians chapter 2, right? It says, fulfill my joy by being like-minded, having the same love, being one of accord, of one mind. A lot of us, when we talk about attraction or attracting the wrong person, right? If I present myself as a street guy who just want fast women, then that's what I'm going to attract. So if
You
I'm
on one
attracting
accord.
fast,
You are one accord
there you go.
with
I'm
the
on one
fast
accord, right?
with the
As,
for the
as
fast behind.
Philippians chapter 2 said, I'm on one accord and one like-minded with that type of woman. That's what I attracted because that's what I presented. Boss Town 4002 said, matching energy. You are absolutely right. The energy that you put out there as, oh, I'm a hustler, I got money, I got this, I got that. Well, guess what? You're going to attract the woman that wants those things that you got. So you cannot get upset and say, oh, she's not a real one. No, she's a real one. You gave her, you presented what she wanted. She told you what she wanted. She accepted what she wanted. She just wasn't a real one to stay when the things that you presented are no longer there to be presented to her. You get what I'm saying? So you can't get mad when people say, oh, well, I didn't know this is the type of person she was. That's a lie. Because most of us, we already know the type of person they are before we even get with them. Right?
Not only that, the fundamental thing in that is what you just said, bro. You should have known the type of woman that she was because of what you were.
Right.
And that's the part, like you just said, not looking in the mirror and not taking accountability. You should have known she was from the streets because you met her in the streets, bro. When you was doing what you was doing, how you presented yourself and what you were selling. Period.
Now, I will say this, though. Shout out to my brother and my sister-in-law, who I love very dearly, right? I asked myself, where y'all meet at? They say in the Black Hole. So the Black Hole is a club back in D.C. back in So for disclaimer purposes, there is a possibility of you finding true love in the club, just so y'all know. Because my brother and my sister-in-law have been married for over 20-some years.
Oh, so, all right, let's say this then. That's not normal.
That is not normal.
I'm not saying that that is not the normal thing. And that's not the reason why you go to the club. And even if they got married and they met there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they probably really was thinking about having a good time or going out and enjoying each other. Because that's what as I got older, so me and my homegirl, bro, we went to a club every day for a whole summer, bro. Every day for a whole summer, to the point where I got tired of going out and going to the clubs. And when Eden's Lounge came around, that was like my thing, because now I don't have to go out and try to perform and be around people and this, that, and the other. I'll usually get a drink at the time. I was drinking. I get my drink. I go sit in the corner and I go chill. I listen to the music. If I hear interesting conversation, because I know how to like just talk and be with people, yeah, I can go to a lounge. I'll go to like some little small, quiet, intimate spot. Like those are the type of places I like going. I don't like going to big, loud things, because again, if you meet somebody, how you gonna sit there and talk? Like, how you gonna find out what her? My thing is, I'm so scared nowadays to just hook up with random people, because you don't know what's floating out there. Y'all worrying about COVID. That's the last thing y'all should be worrying about, COVID. When all of this stuff going on out here, y'all keep trying to be promiscuous and these people out here doing their thing, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, before you even get physical with a person, if you meet them, like, man, let's go to the clinic and get tested or something before we do that. That's just me. That's how I feel. I'm just me.
They ain't scared of that no more, man. AIDS ain't. They ain't worried about HIV no more, man. They, they got one or two pills now you can take. You ain't got to take 1,000 pills like you had to back in the day.
Worried about
people are just, bro.
I ain't worried about AIDS now, because, like you said, you can live with that. I'm talking about looking down there and seeing some disfiguration.
But that's what I'm saying. I was trying to be funny. I was trying to be funny in the sense that people are overlooking these things, and like I said, at the end of the day, man, I think it's a lack of self-love for a lot of people, man. Because if you value yourself and you held yourself to a high standard, then you will only spew out what is good that is going to make you even better than where you at in life. I was never the type to date multiple women before I got with my wife. I had maybe one serious relationship, right? That was about it. But Dana was really like my real serious relationship that ended up being married to, right? But because I always used to hold myself at a high standard. You know what I used to tell myself amongst my friends, and they can take this as a shot if they wanted to. I'm straight up like that, right? I used to always tell myself I'm not a baby daddy.
That's right.
That's my standard. I was like, I didn't just want to be with somebody, get them pregnant, and then they treat me like I'm anything. I wasn't going for that. So I always used to always tell myself, the person that I marry, the person I have a child with is who I'm going to marry. So I used to always say their qualities. There's certain qualities that I was looking for. She didn't have to come with a lot of money. She just had to come with her having, she want to work. She doesn't want to be at home, just staying around. She can go out. I don't have a problem with you going out, but don't make it like an everyday thing. And don't come home 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So there's some standards that you have to have as a man, especially when you're trying to attract a real one. If you're trying to attract a real woman or a real lady, and you want to be married, or you looking for that person that you can build with, you have to have that standard of saying, you know what? These are some of the qualities I'm looking for. But if you're just going to sell yourself and say, I got this, I got that, I got this, and I got that, and I'm this, I'm telling you, you're going to get sold like at a slave auction, man. You're going to sell yourself short of your own blessings. You're going to sell yourself into a situation where you're going to be crying and working. Like I'm telling you, man, it doesn't fail, bro. Look at the celebrities, for example. They have everything, as he said, a modern woman will be looking for. Success. They have money. They got businesses. They got this. And then guess what happened? They get a divorce. They commit
suicide.
Commit suicide.
A lot of them, that's what I'm saying. Like, so they die because of health issues, complicated with your health issues. Like, and rest in peace to Kevin Samuel, but it was like, this dude was like Red Bulling it. Every time you watch the show, he had Red Bull. He died from heart failure. This man was in the gym exercising, so he say. You know what I'm saying? I can only take all what he's saying. This man was exercising, and he was allegedly, I don't really know, but how it can be presented is that he was being physical and intimate with a woman and had a heart attack. So what is this 6'4", 100K, all that stuff got to do with that?
Yeah.
Jay-Z said, leave behind a beautiful corpse. That's what you did. You just left behind a beautiful corpse. For all of that, your 6'4" self. Chasing what? So yeah, man, I'll say this, right? You still hear me, right? So
yeah, I hear you.
All right, so I think we upset a lot of the men already. So I want to just be fair.
No, I don't think we upset the men. I think we trying to educate and give our perspective on, if you're going to present yourself as a man, there's a way for you to present yourself to find you a real one. But don't expect yourself to present a woman because you're driving a Hellcat and tell her that you got money, man. That's Atlanta dudes for you. They drive around in Hellcats and Chargers 392 Scat Packs, and they tell me they got money. Nah, you want to impress a woman? Let her know that you got your job. You know, let her know that you can be able to take care of her. Show her that nurturing side. When Meek Mill and them made that song and Drake dissed them for that. See, this is the problem with with our society today. We let our society tell us how we should be as a man and how a woman should be. Because when Drake said that line, he said, "This is not what she meant when she said be open," right? Meaning be open. You can be open to your relationship. You can be open up to being vulnerable to your woman, right? But then you got a rapper who has a lot of following saying, "Hey, if you a guy, this ain't what she talking about." You know what I'm saying? So don't you've been too soft. But then why would I want to be with my wife and she's dapping me up like we gangsters? Like, nah. If I'm crying, I want her to be able to hold me. If she's crying, I'm going over there to hold my wife. I'm not about to tell her to call your daddy to send you a tissue or something. No, she gonna leave. Matter of fact, she gonna find somebody like Steve Smith. And what he said he gonna stick it, you know what, deep down her throat. And then you're gonna be sitting there really pissed off because now your so-called wife just stepped out on you. Because like I said, there's more to just having money and having social class that makes you a man. It's a lot that comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
It's a lot that comes with it. You can't just say it just because you got money, man. You know how many people I know got money that still can't find a man? I mean, can't find a woman? Like, come on, man. It's not about money. It's vice versa. It's vice versa. It's a lot of women out there who can't find a man.
There's a lot of strong women out there that don't understand what a man is, you know?
Man, bro.
So it goes both ways.
Society.
But I'm gonna share this one story one time, man, and it blew my mind. And this is I want to say for all the people that's waiting for God to bring them their husband or wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember early on when I really started getting myself back into church and started reading the Bible and studying and stuff, and I was trying to get myself together after my divorce and everything. I started reading the Bible and I came across that whole prudent woman because, like I said, you can't read Proverbs and learn wisdom every day and not read that once you get to the 31st day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to read that and be like, I don't want a prudent wife. I don't want a prudent wife. I had enough wisdom to say that, just like we talked on the last podcast, because what we saying, being responsible, part of being responsible is knowing what you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go down there and you read that prudent woman and that checklist for a prudent woman, I'm like, I know that right now where I'm at in my life right now, I wouldn't even be able to provide that space for her to be that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And therefore, I wouldn't want one because I ain't trying to be one right now, you know? And that was, like I said, me picking up my pieces, trying to get life in order, raising a little girl by myself, and so forth and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month, I don't know, but it was about a month ago, let's say. And that came back to my mind for whatever reason. It just zapped me and like zapped. Mm-hmm. And it came right back to me in my remembrance. I was like, wow, that's weird. Where'd that come from? And then I started realizing. He said it was like how it was. I received it was like, I remember you said you didn't want no prudent wife. You remember that? I was like, yeah, I remember that. And it was like, hey, but you know, you was following after me and you was chasing after me. What you thought you was going to become? And I said, hey, yo, what? Wow, huh? You know, it messed me up because it goes back to what you were just saying. Because of my walk and because I'm trying to get to a certain place and because I'm trying to present myself a certain way, I'm just going to naturally be able to transform into that so that I can provide that space for that particular woman to walk into my life, which was also, like I said before, one of the things that I realized and I started praying about and different things like that around the new year. Like, I want to be able to present my house, my life, my finances, who I am, to be able to have a woman come in here and help multiply this and make it grow bigger. A real woman, a woman that's going to help build with you and not challenge you as a man. I'm always going to say that. Not challenge your manhood, but challenge you as a man. And like I said, and when you listen to Homeboy there, what a woman gonna tell him? I remember this one thing, right? Mm-hmm. We was young because I was young when I got married. I was 24. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I was very young when I got married. And before we got married, we got in this argument one time. I was paying her bills. I was, doing, taking care of stuff around the house, doing the man thing.
Mm-hmm.
I looked in her face one day and I'm yelling and I'm laying all of this stuff off to you. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. What more do you want from me? And she looked me in my eyes that day and she said, you.
Mm.
And that stuck with me to this day. That's why when I look at stuff like this is a joke. This is a joke. Now, like I said, people get older. They turn to different things. Their desires lead them astray. That's why we did the part about the things about the heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand what is it that you really want. Satan comes in, especially when you're not properly covering your woman and taking care of her as a man. Satan, whoever comes in, like you said, this is one thing, and we talked about this last year. I'm a millionaire, and I'm making millionaire moves. And I come home to a woman that's been sitting in the house all day and cleaning up, maybe taking care of the kids, whatever. What are we going to talk about at the end of the day, other than the kids or something? What conversations will we have? You can't relate to me in my world.
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to you in your world because I ain't never here with you to go through all that. Because that's what they tell you as a man. You're just supposed to be out here grinding and chasing bags. But that's the reason why half of y'all, if y'all really deep down inside, realize y'all miserable. If real men sat down and look at themselves, that's why I said Fences was one of the most amazing, prolific movies as a story of a man goes. Because if you really sit down and really look at your life and realize that standard that they set and that thing that I'm chasing after, that's what I want to be after, you're spending way more time chasing after a fictitious idea than actually living life and enjoying, like you just said, the Danas in your corner, the ones that's really there cleaning up, the ones that's really holding you down, the ones that's encouraging you, because she probably don't have the body that you want. But here's a kicker. If you be disciplined and things like that, maybe y'all can exercise and work out and get the body. Maybe you can put her on a nutritional plan and an exercise thing to put some weight on and then get the body that you want. But that's the same thing that Mr. Samuel was talking about when he was like, oh, you 5'3" and this, that, and the other. Yeah, he was talking about women, but at least that's what most people took. But he was talking about broke men too. He called them, for lack of better words, and please forgive me, little D energy. You got little D energy. That's where all that came from. Like, come on, man. Stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this right and let her break it down. And I'm going to tell you, she only said one thing in this clip that I disagree with.
Okay.
Only one.
Your man said.
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. They lead with love, not with dictatorship. They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself, supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman.
That's it right there. She said, man is going to support the dreams and ideas of a woman. And I will put an asterisk next to that.
So what's wrong with that?
Hold on, I'm going to let her finish. I'm going to get back to it.
A top tier man prioritizes a woman.
All right, so and I will put an asterisk next to that. And this is the reason why. Where we at? Okay. The reason why I put an asterisk next to that, right, is because we just sat up here and just talked about, and that's where, like you said, Deron jumped in the comments and he was like, she was selfish. But then I think one of the comments was like, as a man, I would want somebody to support me and this, that, and the other. I said, but somebody can view that as selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying her selfish, that she's selfish. But the very thing that you just said is selfish. So she supposed to just be subservient to you? She's just supposed to follow you? She's just supposed to sit underneath you and be like the woman from Coming to America? Whatever you like. Bark like a dog. Woof! A big dog. Woof. I don't want that kind of person in my life, personally. I don't want to serve it. Like, no, I'm Prince Hakeem. I want to go, but I ain't going to no Queens. I tell you that. I want a Queen, but I ain't going to Queens.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I disagree with her is because I will support your dreams and your ideas, but your dreams and ideas should be about us. That's why when you go, even like you said in the scripture, you pulled up that scripture in Philippians,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it say. Where we at? Right there. Fulfill my joy by being like-minded, having the same love, being on one accord of one mind. And that goes both ways. Now, we have been raised as men, unfortunately, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why they rebellious nowadays. Because I told you, I feel like the world is overcorrecting itself right now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think all of like the nerds in the world is now they control everything. Now they want to make everybody their little puppets. You know, President Musk and all those guys. And we was raised as men to put women on pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I thought that. I believed that. I put women on pedestals. I've always like lifted them up and made them think that, oh, they was this much better than me, and we supposed to be worshiping and this, that, and the other women and this, that, and the other, which is the bigger crack of crack, right? I think I put this on Facebook, and I really wanted somebody's reaction, and y'all can chime in too. It says women grow up knowing how they are supposed to be treated, and men grow up knowing how to treat women. But nobody grows up saying how a man is supposed to be treated, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this to me would be a different conversation if he was actually talking about this particular thing, right? Instead of running off his attributes and why somebody should serve him and why somebody should be, oh my God, this man. Like I said, he know everything about a woman except for their nature and who they are. That's crazy. You know, all that other stuff, huh? They want that. But they don't want to be loved and nurtured and take care for and feel secure and safe, right? No, okay. Mm-hmm. And your money and your guns and your taekwondo is what's going to make them feel secure. No. Anyway, we never was taught as men how to be appreciated. We were never taught as men how to, like you said, because that's the reason why. And I was listening to this too the other day. Like, we as men take on so many things and we suck so many things up because hoorah, that's who we supposed to be. We tough alpha males, and we supposed to go out here and just fight the world. And now we come home, rub my feet and my back. But you know, JoJo, you know for a fact how hard that is. Mm-hmm. When you don't know how you're going to provide for your family. And then, oh, you got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and get it. But that's the reason why I would never attract a woman that don't know and understand the struggle that I would want to go through. I would never be able to attract a woman that look at me as just I don't care if I was a millionaire. There's no way in the world that I would attract a woman or a woman would look at me. A woman would look at me. In fact, somebody just told me recently, they said, I think you wouldn't even talk to me if you was in a certain place. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Her saying that has to be of one mind and one accord. And I will support your dreams. And I will support that. If those dreams and those things, especially if you go back to the prudent wife, right? In Proverbs 31 that we was talking about, she's going to make sure her home is together. She's going to make this and the other. So your ideas and your dreams should be a collective thing. I don't understand this. The people who think that, okay, we can live together and get married, but we don't have to be together. I would never understand that, because if that's the case, why y'all just ain't just, but buddies? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. If you got your own place, I got my own place. There's really no need to be married to you. It just, whenever you need somebody, call me up. What Jay-Z called it, the emergency D in the glass. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just be that, because that doesn't make any sense. For you to say, well, I got these hopes and I got these dreams, but we supposed to be building. We are supposed to be achieving goals and obtaining things. Now, I'm not saying that you ain't supposed to have your own identity, but I also believe part of building the foundation of a relationship, like we're talking about, has to do with being in sync with one another. Like you said, what kind of wife would you have if when you was going out there doing your activist work and your wife was totally against that? now you're creating contention in your house. That was in your heart to do before you studied on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine somebody that has to go out and be a pastor and go out there and travel the world and speak and do different things, but the whole time they have an insecure wife at home? A wife that don't really understand like her role and what she's supposed to be, and now she feels some kind of way. It's going to tear your house apart. Vice versa. Like, so why in the world would you want to go out and say, as a woman, I need my own space and I need this, that, and the other? But you're supposed to be my better half. And if I'm your better half and you're my better half, how can you go home or go out in the world and leave your better half behind? That means you're really just being selfish to yourself and doing what you want to do to please you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like the girl trips and all that. Your R&R, time you want to get away, relax. That's cool. But the overall picture and the overall foundation of what we're supposed to be doing is supposed to be doing it together. And if you my best half, because that's what they used to say, right? My better half. I don't understand how you can leave your better half in a house or leave your better half somewhere else. That's why you said you don't like going out, but you will go because that's your better half.
Because that's what But to be honest with you, this video, to be honest with you, I didn't see anything wrong from that. But I don't even see nothing wrong with what she said in that clip. I actually agree with
prioritizing. I think, like I said, and prioritize, right? She said,
prioritize.
You gotta make time for them, right? Spend time with them. That's what the nurturing part and the sensitive part that they have, and the other things like that. Yeah, you got to prioritize and put them in there because, again, like you said, most of those rich men that's out here chasing the bag don't have time for that.
Right, but I'm talking about as far as like in the sense that what she said, a top tier man would support his woman's dreams. I think that's. So okay.
God don't even do that, JoJo. You know that? Do you know that God don't even do that?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to question God. I don't want to get zapped. I told you we don't get zapped. I don't want to get zapped.
No. But you got to understand what I'm saying about it, though, right? It says, "Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil."
But no, she's talking. We talking about Aaron.
No, I got you. I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna give you this. I want you to look at it from this way, right? You pray and you ask God for a job. Why would God give you a job that's going to allow you to, one, neglect your family, neglect your wife, possibly cheat on your wife, and more importantly, ignore him? Why would God give you that? And you know he's a jealous God. His name is jealous, right? So if God wouldn't do that, why would I, as a husband, right? And I'm going to allow you to go out there and do whatever it is you feel like you want to do, right? It don't have nothing to do with us. That don't make any sense.
But hold on. Just because she want to have her own dreams and have her own goals, I don't think that means she's going to go out into the world and do all of that.
But that's what I'm saying. But their dreams and the goal has to be in sync. Does it not?
It do. But notice what she said. Hold on. Notice what she said, though, bro. She said, I want to be with a man, a top tier man is going to support his wife's dreams.
And I said that. I agree. Now, so like I said, I will support your business. If that means that this business is going to help us build our future. I think that's what she's saying.
I think that's what she's saying. I don't think she's saying.
I
don't think she was saying in the sense that he's going to help me build my dream and not build our dream.
I'm saying, well, she didn't say that. So that's right, because I can only go by what she's saying. That's number one.
Okay, so
number two, but the same way that you know that the men is out there and we don't give them that leeway, I'm not going to give her no leeway neither. Because we also know that there's a lot of women out there who actually thinks that. That's the reason why the gold diggers exist. That's the reason why the dudes is talking about the women that he's talking about. Because women out there do believe that. Women believe that we supposed to just do whatever, give them the money, and do whatever the heck they want to do, and they supposed to rock that. So we're gonna talk about the men. I'm gonna talk about them as well. I'm not gonna give them no pass.
So maybe we're missing each other on this one. So
okay.
I'm not saying that. I don't think she's wrong. I don't think she's wrong in anything she's saying. Right?
I don't either. That's why I said we're gonna put an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, I don't think she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think what she's trying to say is that I'm gonna use myself for example. I'm not even going.
Gotcha.
If Dana came to me right now, she said, "Hey, I got an idea for a business."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you got? I got a business idea where I want to make handbags to sell to, I don't know, the Church of Pentecost.
Right.
Okay, all right. So, what are your plans? Right?
No.
Hold on. She give me her plan. Hold on. She give me her plan.
That's what you did. You said, "What's your plan?" Right. That's what you said.
Hear me out. So I asked her, "What's
So
her plan?"
asked you that without a plan. That's what would you say?
If she asked me without a plan, I said, "Well, we have to have me as a man supporting my wife's dream. We got to come up with a plan, baby."
No. What if she never comes up with a plan and you got to come up with the plan? You doing that?
If it's going to say yes, why wouldn't I? We just said
you come up with a plan for her.
Just said, Aaron, you just said you want to be with a woman that's going to help you build together. So she's not. I'm not. So because I'm supposed to be she's supposed to be my helper. I can't help her out so we can be successful together.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in any good business, and even when you start a business plan, and you go to the bank, you just can't walk into the bank and say,
"Okay, so disregard. Don't go there.
That's what I'm asking because you know there are people like that, right? You know that you have met people that ask you for, "Hey, loan me this $10, loan me this $20," and you said, "What? You didn't even got no job."
Well, that's Aaron. That's why I said if my wife came to me and asked me that. Hold on. That's why I said my wife came to me and said, "Hey, I got an idea. Okay, I want to sell handbags to the Church of Pentecost, right?" And I said, "Okay, what's the plan?"
And that's where we at.
So she has a plan.
You cannot come up with a plan for her if it's her.
No. That's why I have to ask her what's her plan. If she says I don't have a plan, my reply to that is, well, you got to come up with a plan so that way I know how to support your dream, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what I think, and I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think that is what the young lady was referring to, because you got relationships and marriages right now that are failing because the men are scared for the women to be more successful financially than they are in the marriage.
Yeah, they're losers. They're losers.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
You're a loser.
So that's what I'm saying. If she's saying that a man is supposed to support the woman's dream, yes. Because remember,
I agree. Yeah, all right. So let's take your same example.
Okay.
Your wife now start mixing handbags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your wife now start doing things and going to places that's neglecting her position as a wife. Then what?
I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad. Shit. I'm joking around, man. It's a joke. But what do you mean?
It was funny. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that response, while you joking, it's a lot of women's mentality.
So let me ask you this though. When you say
nowadays, because you have these women, unfortunately, who thinks that they can lead men.
Isn't it the man's fault? Remember, we talked about this where you attract what you put out.
Right.
So isn't it the man's fault for attracting? Because remember, we had this conversation when we talked about this. We talked about this where a lot of us get into these situations, relationships. We say, "Oh, I didn't know this is how she was," or "I didn't know this is the type of person he is," right? Mm-hmm. Which is a complete lie because they show you traits about who they are. One, I know a couple right now. That the woman is the lead.
So I'm glad you said that. So let's put a pause on that real quick because I want to say women can lead men. I'm not saying they can.
Right.
Women can lead men, but I'll elaborate on that later. But go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Mean that they can't do it at all, period.
Right. But
it's just not nature. That's not how nature goes. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Which she likes to. She's the lead. She's the one who runs the business and everything. And but it's a system. Amazing. Right. It's a system that works for them, right? So remember, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I have a hard time saying the young lady is wrong. And I'm hoping, from my perspective, what she's saying is what I'm saying is what I'm hoping she was referring to, as far as, if you have a dream, okay, let me support this dream, let me support this. But when you talk about her leaving her place as a wife and doing everything else, that's the problem. That is the big red flag.
That's what I'm saying. So look, now she's going on trips.
So let me ask you this: are you going to leave the wife because of that?
I never said that. That's
I'm just asking.
No, to me, that's more extreme, right?
Okay.
So we're not going to scale it too far. I want to keep it like just the basic getting off the ground, right?
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying, right? Me as a man, I know that I need affection. I know that I need, that what you call that time together, right? That bonding time, different things like that. I know people who works on different shifts. The man work day shift, woman work night shift, vice versa, different things like that, right? Me and who I am, and this is what the conversation we'll have, is building our foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said again, once you lay your foundation in any relationship, you can adjust the walls. You know what I'm saying? You can make a room bigger. You can make a back room a walk-in closet. You make a laundry room somewhere that's not supposed to be, right? You can always make adjustments because now you know the foundation, right? You know your load-bearing walls and all this thing. All that stuff is a part of building a foundation, right? Again, like COVID might hit or this, that, and the other. Now, I'm not saying if my wife don't have a dream that surpasses me or this, that, and the other, that I wouldn't support it. But at the same time, that dream has to make sure that it's us. And what I'm saying is I will never not neglect the fact that the mindset of some women is that I'm looking for a come up. I know a dude that got married, moved to a different state, all to support his wife's dreams. And after so many years, that it never came to fruition about his dreams and what he wanted. And that's what I'm saying. That's the part when I even start bringing up, like, when we was raised putting women on pedestals. We was raised just worshiping them. And so now I'm going to put all my life and things on pause so I can help you build your relationship. And after all of these many years, we still ain't got nowhere. And I can't focus on mine now because you still focus on yours. But at what point do you stop and say, all right, this is about us and not me? And that's what I'm talking about when she said that. Because I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt, just like I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt, even though his was a little bit more blatant and a little bit more flagrant. I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt and sit back and give her a blank statement and say, oh, all of her intentions is right. All of her intentions is not right. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get people that's going to see that clip and going to say, yeah, she's right. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, believe in my dreams and this, that, and the other. Make, you know what I'm saying, support me, prioritize me. But that doesn't mean that you take that and be selfish. That doesn't mean you take that and now it's just about you. That's where I'm coming from with it.
And I agree with what you're saying. That's why I said I hope what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I said I hope what I'm saying is what she was referring to. Now, I'm not saying, that doesn't happen, but that's what I'm saying. Well, you guys have to be, when you go back to Philippians chapter 2 and you put that back up there, I'm gonna put it back up there. It says, fulfill my joy by being like-minded, right? Meaning you guys have to be having the same mindset or the same goals, right? And it says, having the same love, being one of accord, of one mind. That goes back to what we're talking about, that if that is something that you both agree to,
right,
and you guys are working towards together.
So, right, there's situations where, right, like I said, say, are you a business owner right now?
Say that again.
Are you a business owner right now?
Man, I wish, man. I wouldn't be working for these people.
Is your wife a business owner right now?
All
right. So when y'all got married, having the business was not a conversation to have.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. So now, because like I said, relationships change, things change. Now you get a vision. Now you get a passion. Now you have an idea. Now you want to try something, right? And when you try it, and then now it's like, because that the enemy knows what we want too, right? The enemy knows that if I want to come in and disrupt this, especially if things is not going right, I'm gonna let this business succeed. I'm gonna do this and the other because now you chasing paper and you chasing stuff. You're not even chasing God anymore, and I'm gonna lead you astray after your lusts and your passions and your desires. And that's where I was coming from with it. Because now you can get a desire. Okay, I'm going to get a t-shirt business. I'm going to start selling t-shirts. But then you start selling t-shirts and you're neglecting your kids. You're neglecting your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that, but it goes back to, like I said, with all the rich people saying, oh, you got to chase the bag and hustle. Yeah, you're supposed to do that, but you ain't supposed to neglect your kids. Yeah, you're supposed to do that, but you ain't supposed to neglect your duties as a wife or, you know what I'm saying, or a partner. You're not supposed to be neglecting those responsibilities just because you have a passion and you want something. But that comes from, like you said, building a foundation. Now, when you get to a certain point in life, there's a point where we got to say, all right, now we got to sit down and restructure this. That is the reason why I walked away from a relationship. I've been married already. I have a child already. This person did not have, never been married and never had a child. And I was trying to help her understand the ropes, right? So when I asked her, what does this look like? I could not get an answer. Even now, the people, like I said, like, what is your intention? The matters of the heart, right? The things that we were talking about. I want to know what this marriage thing or this relationship thing looks like to you. See, so many people jump in it, and the reason why it goes chaotic and off the rails is because y'all didn't sit down and ask these questions before. You didn't lay the foundation before. You never said, my ultimate goal and my ultimate passion. I tell you, like my ex-wife. My ex-wife always had a desire to get into Hollywood. And when she was, I didn't know that at the time, but once we got into the marriage and stuff like that, then she told me that. And me being who I am, I said, I don't want that. I told her straight up. You want the glam, you want the attention, you this, that, and the other. This is what you desire. That's fine. But just know, I don't want that. I never wanted that. I don't need attention. I don't need none of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I entertain myself sometimes. There's people that be around me. I've been on the phone with you. I talk about myself. I just be cracking jokes and stuff on me, on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really need people to entertain me, or I'll be out here trying to entertain people or anything like that, because I don't really need a lot of people around me. But in the middle of that, that's what she wanted to do. And I'm just like, well, that was something that I never wanted. And then her example was Denzel and his wife, and Samuel Jackson and his wife. And he was like, well, you never really see them. You don't really see what they're doing. And my thing was, if this is what you can promise me, and this is what you want, and this is what you desire, then fine. Just know I'll be at the red carpet events, and I'll be there to support your features. But all that other stuff, I'm not with. We ain't going. Don't ask me to be on a reality TV show. That's another reason why, like, to me, I don't think I would ever be interested in dating a woman that makes a living or constantly posting pictures of herself on IG and all that other stuff, because of my personal points of view on that. You know what I'm saying? But those, like you said, that's me laying the foundation. Those are all the things that need to be talked about.
Now, you absolutely. I mean, I can agree with you on that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the conversation that needs to be had, but it's based off of what you're putting out. Is that, like my brother said, is the energy. The energy has to match. You know what I'm saying? So if you putting that energy out there, you're looking for this, you're absolutely going to get that exactly what you're looking for. So if that foundation is not attracting the woman who is going to be self-centered and the gold digger as he claimed, or as he's pretty much putting out for, then you got to tone it down. You got to tone it down a lot and start really looking at what type of woman you're looking for. Are you looking for a weekend getaway joint? Yeah, you're gonna get a getaway girl. If you want a Monday girl, you're gonna get a Monday girl. But if you want somebody that you can wake up to every day and don't have to worry about who she's been with, or what time she's gonna come back from the club, then like I said, look, man, I'm not a club person, but if my wife says she won't go out, I put my nice clothes on. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question. What if Dana took a job, right? And she said, in order for me to take this job, I have to present myself to be a single woman.
Shit. What kind of question is that, man? Me, I'm an African man. You don't even ask me that. You don't even ask me that.
Hey, bro.
And she present herself as a single.
I'm laughing.
What? That is the job requirement?
So modeling, I guess the illusion of selling a fantasy.
Charlie, UPS. We'll go work at UPS together.
Son,
Any cash?
look, you want to sell a fantasy? Go work at Marvel Studios.
Bruh, it ain't even. Nah. It don't even work like that. I done broke my glasses messing around. It don't even work like that. Hell no. Yo, bro.
Jojo, I'm laughing, but in all reality, that's what happened to me.
What do you mean that's what happened to you?
That's what happened to me in my situation. So Kanye West got this song, and like I said, I love rap music. I don't know, because to me it's so real. Now I ain't talking about that mumbling stuff that I don't really understand. That's just like one of them things you just want to hear vibe to, I guess, but not pay attention to. But Kanye West have a song called Runaway. No. Blame Game. That's what it was. Blame Game. Mm-hmm. When I first heard that song, I damn near cried, bro. And the reason why I heard that song, he says, we disguising ourselves as secret lovers, we became public enemies. And when I say that that's exactly what happened to me, that's what happened to me. And I believe that was a downfall to my marriage. The downfall to my marriage and my perspectives came from the point where the desires, and like I said, I made, and I'm guilty, my ex-wife my idol. I made her my idol. And I told the story before, Jay-Z, On to the Next One came out. And I heard somebody talking about it. It's like, man, you see how many satanic symbolisms is in that music video? And I ain't never paid it no mind. And all I said, I grew up in church. I just never paid that side of the world any attention for real. I was just too busy focusing on God. And when I watched that video, I couldn't sleep for 3 days. On the third night, I just dropped on my knees and I prayed. I said, because that's the first time I realized that the Antichrist was real. Like that was the first time I realized that he was real. And all these satanic symbolisms and all this other stuff on to the next one video, it really messed me up and I couldn't sleep. But on that third night, I said, God, I don't care what you have to do. I need you to be number one in my life. I don't care what it takes. I prayed that. And that was the end of my marriage. I didn't know that I was praying, but that was the end of my marriage because I made her my idol. And we know we're not supposed to have no idols before God. We're not supposed to have no other idols, no false worship, and no idols. So when that happened, and that's the real truth about, to me, if I really talk to real mature spiritual people who really understood that side of it, that's what I really tell them what happened in my marriage, right? Because I made her my idol. I worship her. I let her do all these different things, even the things that I was uncomfortable with, that I kept bending to and acquiescing to the point where you are so now emboldened and comfortable with doing jobs and things that present yourself as a single woman. And as a married man, I told you I wasn't happy with that. And I couldn't handle that, and I started emotionally breaking down and having problems because it was like, why, if you love me, you wouldn't hurt me like this. If you really love me, you wouldn't do that. And before that even happened, I remember going to work one day and I was telling my big bro, Keith, I was like, I don't even know if he remember this. I want to hit him up. I want to ask him that. I said, hey, man, I'm afraid to love her anymore because I'm already not getting anything back now. And I told him that. I said, I'm afraid to love her harder. I'm afraid to do what I'm supposed to do because I don't feel like I am getting anything in return. And this was like years before this situation ever really happened. So after I said this, because I was still working at the very first school I was working at, you know what I'm saying? And then we moved and all these other things, and we came back into the city because we moved down to Silver Spring, came back up in the city, did all these different things just for this stuff to happen. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like, your job and the thing that you said you was doing had you walking around and parading as a single woman. You started believing it. You got comfortable doing that. And now you're a single woman. All because I laid the foundation that you can do whatever you wanted to do in this relationship. And I really wasn't like backing up. So when I started giving you backlash towards that and standing up against that, there was a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the reason why I said
I know you never really talked about it.
explain. Maybe that helped explain the passion and why I was saying that earlier too.
Yeah, no, it does because yeah, it does. It does because it's coming from a place where you have been exposed, you have an experience to that because of that exposure. So you have some experience to that.
Right.
So I can see, but then that's when I go back and say, is pretty much what I was saying was, is go back to Philippians chapter 2.
Yes,
It
sir.
goes back to Philippians chapter 2. I don't know what
I
verse
wish
is
I
that.
learned that, but I wish I learned that before I got married, though. I really do.
What verse is that? What that's Philippians chapter 2, verse what though?
Verse 3. I'm sorry.
Chapter 2, verse 3.
I got it. Give me a second. Let me get out of this screen real quick.
Yeah, because if you really read that, right, but again, it all depends on the foundation.
2 and 3. Yes, 2 and 3.
Okay, so it goes back to your foundation of what your relationship is on, right?
Right.
If your foundation is built off of financial status or materialistic stuff, that's just how it's going to crumble. It's going to fall off of those things, right? But if you build in a relationship based off of fundamentals that you both agree on, then it's not a surprise when things go wrong, or it's not a surprise when that one person do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I love that Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, because it says, fulfill my joy by being like-minded. Being like-minded this is what we both want. This is what we both agree to, right? Having the same love, meaning you have to love the same thing. So whatever it is that I'm interested in, you should have some type of interest in it too as well. When I started the whole FTP movement, Dana wasn't all on board. She supported me, but she wasn't really all on board. You get what I'm saying? But then I guess she didn't, maybe because she wasn't seeing how serious I was about it with it. You know what I'm saying? But then once I got serious with it, then she started coming out. Now, I didn't want her going to every event because I'm going in the trenches. I'm in tent cities. I mean, I'm going there where any one of these people that I'm looking to go do some good to can flip out because of mental issues and stuff like that, or whatever demonic spirits they've been fighting could attack her. You know what I'm saying? So I still was like, hey, I knew exactly where, hey, this is a place where I think you can come with me. But this one right here, now you might want to sit this one up, Big G. I got this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the type of area we about to go to. You dig what I'm saying? I don't walk into a homeless tent city where I done walked into dead body being there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like my passion for it's a lot different, and that's why I never partner up with people to join my organization, because the passion, we didn't align together. People were trying to use it for their own political gains. People were looking for it to get likes on Facebook and social media. It didn't align with what I wanted. So with Philippians chapter 2 is saying, verse 3 saying, it's to fulfill this joy, right, by being like-minded people. So if you are going to be in a relationship, be in a relationship with a like-minded person that you guys are looking to build. I will tell you this, Aaron. It's two things that a woman is going to do to you. It's either she's going to help you build your castle, or she's going to help you destroy it.
Yes, sir.
Right? So we cannot be negligent or ignorant to the fact that you can't just have everybody come to your castle, because either they're going to uplift it and bring warmth and light to that castle, or they're going to make it very dark and bitter. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, when they get in relationships, we get in relationships off of the wrong things and not having that solid foundation. And that's why if you have a brother like him who is, I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that, well, guess what? There is somebody that has been groomed by their mother that is sitting there waiting for somebody like you to come along. You know, Jaden, everybody's talking about Jaden Daniels' mom, the quarterback from the Washington Commanders, right? She said the same thing. She said, ain't nobody. Said it again?
No, she said, stay away from him.
Yeah, she said, stay away from her son. And you know the reason why, right? She said, there's somebody that has been groomed for Jaden Daniels, right? But he got a mother that, you ain't just about to come take my son's hard work. People are getting mad about that, but I look at it as a mom protecting her son and his hard work and her hard work. She has done her very best to raise that man to be an outstanding young man who is getting all the freaking endorsements he can get. I've never seen a second round pick or second overall pick getting this many endorsements over the #1 first pick. I've never seen it before. But because of how that woman take her time to raise her son, she said, nah, you're going to have to come work for this man, because she's teaching him that he has a standard for the woman that's going to come in his life. Now, they can call him a mama boy all they want, but that's the man that one is going to love a woman and treat a woman with respect, because he know that my mom is being treated the same way by my dad, and I know what I'm supposed to look for when it comes to a woman. She's doing her job from that woman perspective. You get what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, you have to have that like-minded to be able to be together. You can't be over here and she over here, or she can't be over here and you down here. It's not going to work, because it's an uneven balance. And when you have that uneven balance, that's where you have your been married for 1 year and then you guys got divorced. And then when you ask yourself, why did you get divorced? Oh, well, he's not supporting me enough. He talks to me any kind of way. What was he not doing this before you said I do? He just didn't change up. When people are like, oh, he changed overnight. He had tendencies. He showed you some signs.
Man, you was who you was before you got here.
Man, you better
can try to change, but that's just the top layer.
Hey man, you be close with these rappers.
I told you, bro, right? That stuff to me helped me build foundations. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Those are the things they're not going to tell you in church. And that's the reason why, to me, I find those things enlightening, and I was able to take out little things out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was able to take out, you can try to change, but that's the top layer. Man, you was who you was before you got here. And most people, and that's the main reason why, to me, I feel like believers, when they're looking for God, need deliverance. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's like you said, with that situation with that young man, he could have done, and I know somebody else who did that, right? The dude was sitting back, letting his girl, he was dating at the time, because he had no papers on. He can't say nothing to her. Girl, matter of fact, the girl was like that before he met her, right? Running around with her friends, chilling, going to the hookah bar, going to the studio, doing whatever. And I said, hey, yo, you know, once you get married, homeboy ain't gonna be cool with that, right? Nah, everything cool. He let me do it now. Nah, you his wife now. She ain't believe me. And when it happened, the dude tried to get her pregnant and move her to Kansas City. You can try to change, but that's the top, man. Yo, dog, it was crazy, man. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen and I understand a lot of things, but like you said, once you build that foundation, and I think a lot of it, even people that's in deep relationships, say you've been in a relationship for 8 years, maybe you never really discussed foundations or where y'all want. Now will be the perfect time to do it. Now will be the perfect time, not to say, like you said, it's not to say that y'all need to separate. It's not to say that y'all need to divorce. What it says is that y'all need to go back to the table and learn how to build together. You jumped into something and didn't understand what you was getting into. And it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about y'all. And the two shall become one. That's what it said. Leave your wife, leave your mother and father, cleave to your wife. And the two shall become one. But that one is not you and your selfishness, and it's not him and his non-supportiveness. Y'all supposed to become like-minded on one accord based off of y'all direction in which God told y'all where y'all supposed to be going in life. My big brother Keith, man, he found his wife. He on a food truck. His wife was on the food truck with him, helping him build. You know what I'm saying? Now he's trying to get a brick and mortar. Wife right there the whole time. Amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she could have, like, all right, I don't want to do this. But why? Why would you get with a man and then try to work completely against what he's trying to do? Luckily for him, and I'm happy for him, that he found his queen that's going to get in that food truck with him. Help him serve. Help get that money. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it both benefits them. So those are the things that when I see it and I understand it, it's like, yeah, it's a difference from supporting businesses and doing things. It's another thing when you completely get inside of it. Because like you said, to me, the difference between somebody that loves you and a critic A critic is going to tell you everything that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you let you know, everything you're doing wrong. A person that loves you is going to get in it with you. Hey, let me see your finances. Let me see what you got going over here. How you paying these bills over here? What you doing over here? That's you getting in with it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, I don't want to live like this. Come on, let's figure this out together. I'm going to listen and take directions, and I'm going to give directions and listen to it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a give and take. I know for a fact that the woman that I marry has to be good at search engines. Why you say search engines? Because if it don't come up on the first 3 or 4, I ain't looking no more.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so sometimes you gotta go. Remember when Google had all the O's on there, and you had to click on the different O's to get to another page? I only got 3. If it wasn't on 3, that's it. As a matter of fact, depending on what came up on that one page, if you gave me some whole crazy stuff and it wasn't on that one page, I might not even go to 2. But see, that's me understanding my weaknesses. Why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody that carries my same weaknesses? Why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody that's not disciplined? Why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody that's doing all these different things that's not going to help me become better? Because although there's other things that I might be weak at, my strengths should be her weaknesses. And that's how it's supposed to go to me.
Yeah. Now I agree, man. You're right. It just goes back on whatever your foundation is. If you have a solid foundation from the jump, you can build it. What they say, the wise build their house on a solid foundation, the fools build their house on sand. When I think that was what is the scripture? Hey, let me tell you something. That was one of the realest scripture that God ever revealed to me.
Okay.
Is it Micah? I think I want to say it's Micah. I think it's in the book of Micah. It says, for the expectation you have for yourself was many, but you gained so little. You were so quick to build your house that you, instead of building the house of the Lord, you build your house on the sand, and when it rains, it washes it away. That was the scripture God gave me when I found myself in trouble in Alabama, young. Because when I went up there, I had an expectation to build my castle, but I built my castle on the sand. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't last, and I got in trouble. But when I came home and I started to put God first, one of the realest things Dana said to me about finances when I was like, man, how come I'm working and I'm not saving any money? You know what she told me? She said, you ain't paying your tithes. That was one of the realest things. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have the like-mindedness with a person. You can't just get out here and say, I'm gonna date this person. You have to date with a purpose. You have to be out here dating for a purpose. You have to have a reason. If you're going to set standards, set a standard to yourself where it says, this person has to have some value in my life. You can't just be out here dating people. Man, you're going to attract the wrong people, man. Man, that was one of the realest things she ever said to me. I said, man, why is it that we working, we saving money, but then we don't have nothing when I look at the bank account? She said, you ain't paying your tithes. And I looked at it and I said, I'm doing everything but that. When I was making less, I was saving more money when I was making less, when I was paying my tithes and feeding the homeless and doing everything I was doing.
Right.
And I was able to save up for my down payment for my house. I get the house, I'm feeding the homeless, but I stopped doing one thing, paying my tithes. And I was like, well, how's it that I was doing all of this with less? And I have more now, and I can't save not a dime.
A very good question.
Bro. So it's like, you see, that's my helper. She's helping me she's reminding me of me going back to my first love, my first passion, right? So it's like, you have to have that like-minded person, because if you're going to be with somebody, you want to be with somebody that's going to help you grow. So if you are making $100,000+ a year, well, guess what? If you find a like-minded person that's going to help you build more, she's going to double that up to maybe 300,000. That's finding that like-minded person. That's finding that helper. But if you don't, and you just say you're going to talk about what you got and you ain't going to have no standards for your foundation, well, guess what? That 100,000, you're going to have to cut that thing into 2, buddy. Because when she leaves, she's taking half with her.
Yeah.
Hey,
My
man.
thing is they set them up for the babies, man. That's my thing. They ain't nothing but a lick. It's a lick. All of it is a lick. Like you said, somebody groomed them to be a lick.
Man, let me tell you something. It's a girl that I met at my previous job. She's from university. She's from California. She went to the UCLA. She said all them white and foreign girls, those foreign looking white girls, right? They are prepped for all the black athletes in the UCLA campus. She said it is so bad that they don't even look at black girls. All they look for is those foreign looking and white girls, because that's what they're told, that hey, you got to be with this type of person because of the standard that their success is requiring them. Don't look at the average female.
Right.
You got to look at the one that fits a particular description, so when you get in front of the camera, it looks good. You get what I'm saying? But this same person that they groomed you for is the same person that's going to take care of you.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pick it up. You went out.
Rather than helping you build it, right? You're gonna allow them to come in and take half of your stuff. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the biggest thing right there is like, yo, you have to have a type of standards for your foundation. Just because you have foundation, oh, you talking about somebody said Travis Hunter. Facts. Man, somebody's grooming her for, man, Travis Hunter. I don't even talk about people's relationship, but he probably like the dumbest gump I've ever met in my life. He's a gump. I ain't talking about him as a football player. I'm talking about when you got all the signs in front of you. Ain't that much coochie gonna make you go that stupid, bro? You got so much ahead of you. She ain't even like that. She ain't even built like that. But guess what? Somebody groomed her, and because he had low standards, now she gonna get half of everything you got, and that baby on the way. So guess what? 18 to 21 years. You want? Hey man, we about to see. When you out there playing in Washington, and you get drafted by who's supposed to be drafting them? By Tennessee. Let's just say Tennessee or something. And she home, and you over there working hard, and you running these routes, so you playing this defense. Somebody gonna be better playing defense with her too, because if what she shows right now, she ain't gonna change. She been in music videos. She a video vixen before even being a vixen. Bro, you tripping. But that's when you have no standards, bro. You have no standards. That's what happens.
Why I say I can't do it, bro. I don't.
You tripping, bro.
Hey, look,
about to let that girl run your life. She ain't even built like that, bro.
Look, I'm gonna be the Ari I'm gonna be the Ari Melber of podcasts. Ari Melber be quoting all kinds of rap lyrics.
Man, hey, listen, man. I thank God for my wife, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Because at the end of the day, one thing I used to always tell myself, I can never date a woman that wear makeup, man. Straight up. And I ain't. Hey, you wear makeup? That's fine. That's you. Do your thing. But I don't find you attractive. I never did. I never found women that wore makeup attractive, because that's not my standard. My standard was I need a natural queen. Now, if you can do your little touch up here and there, that's cool. Once in a while, that's cool. But I know that's why, Aaron, I was never attracted to African girls who came to America. They wear makeup by the boatload, and I couldn't do it. You wake up in the morning, your bed cover, your pillow covers, they all got brown, green, all sorts of crap on there, bro. Who want to do with that? I don't even know how y'all men do it. They talking about everything. How you gonna be with a woman that wear a boatload of makeup, bro?
My thing is, I need to know what you look like underneath of that.
Man, bro, they tripping, bro. They tripping.
Because I've seen some of them makeup tutorials, bro. I've seen some of them how they can transform into a whole nother person, bro. My thing is, again, who do that stuff? Clowns.
Yeah.
Clowns.
And you ain't seen the video I posted up that the woman. She said she got to wear makeup, and I'm like, you don't have to wear makeup. You choose to wear makeup. But
no, but I know somebody. I met this girl from New York. Her mother raised her that way. Her mother, I believe her mother probably was African. And because when I looked at her one time, I said, yo, you always, like you said, it was early in the morning. Like, you always wear makeup?
Man, every day, 24/7.
Ever since I was a child, my mother raised me to wear makeup. And there was another girl, I want to say maybe like 2 years before I bought this house, and we was talking, and we did something, and I walked past the mirror, and I tried to get her to like look in the mirror, but she said, I don't even like the way that I look, and she's like, covered. That's why she wore the makeup. But that to me reinforces, and I'm not saying whatever trauma that they had, that's on them. You know, God bless them. I hope they're doing good. But it as a single father raising a little girl, and any man that's raising a daughter, even if you're not in your daughter's life, you need to be in your daughter's life, because that is the reason why that is so vital. Women need to hear that they are beautiful from a toddler, infantry, toddler, preteens, teenagers, and well, so that they can have the confidence in themselves. You know, my daughter, I remember when my daughter was younger, and somebody in my family was like, oh, you need to get your hair done. I looked at her, I said, no, you don't. You look beautiful where you are. My daughter right now walk around, have a fro out, looking all locked, the hair all good. I used to do my daughter hair. My daughter hair the way it is right now because I started doing her hair. It wouldn't grow when she was younger. And then when I started doing her hair, and I had to learn about porosity and stuff like that, I was sitting down doing my daughter hair. I was sitting down giving my daughter that confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all of the things that's why this is important, man. So that you won't grow up, even as a daughter. As a man, I'm laying the foundation in my daughter's life. Hey, you ain't gonna come around and tell my daughter she's pretty and think she just gonna fall for that. That ain't gonna work. I laid the foundation in some things. I treat her. I open the door for her. I show her that example. The only thing that's missing that I wish that she had was I wish that she grew up watching me treat another woman a certain way, so she can learn more so how she's supposed to not only just be treated as a woman, but how to conduct herself as a woman. And I think that is another aspect that is missing. She needs to learn she needs to see a woman treat her dad a certain kind of way, so that she can learn how to conduct herself as a woman. That's the only thing that I wish that she had growing up. Like when it comes to not having a mom in her life or having that woman figure in her life. I wish you saw every day how a woman's supposed to treat her dad. Especially if, you know, it was just me and her for a long time, right? And then a woman come into my life, and then she see how, okay, I see how this woman is making my dad feel and treating my dad special. Maybe this is how a woman is supposed to treat a man. And I wish she just had that kind of example. But she's still amazing.
Man, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot to really to just say you just gonna, you know, just jump up and get in a relationship if you don't have any foundations. It's just like having no plan at all, man. You're gonna plan and be with somebody, you're gonna spend years. And nowadays, people be so scared to invest time in relationships. It's like it's hard to. I don't know how people date now. I mean, it's hard, man.
It's wild,
everything is just so society driven. It's like,
not, you know, to me, what I feel like everything is more selfish based driven. That's just me from my observational standpoint. Because it's like, here's another thing that I seen, right? And I didn't know this. I forgot all about this. I wanted to bring this up earlier. I'm 42, bro. So if I had a dating range, I say I probably would date 37, maybe 38. I don't know about 37, depending on how.
Oh, you want to go down to 35?
Yeah, no, see, you almost caught me. Almost caught me, buddy. And the only reason why I say that, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but she had to be a very mature 35.
It's a mature women at 35.
I'm not saying they not. I'm just saying I would, you know, but that's a lot. I don't know. I don't know how comfortable I would be. She would have to be like really get my attention, really special. And I think maybe the oldest would be like 46.
Okay.
I wouldn't really go too high. Now there's some older women. I'm telling you, I've seen like this 80-year-old bodybuilder. She's good for old woman. Like black don't crack. She's amazing. But But my thing is, I feel like I wouldn't have anything to offer her as life experiences, and that's how I feel. Like what I've been through and what I've gone through, I wouldn't want to date somebody like super younger than me because my life experiences and your life experiences is so different. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't trying to raise a little girl. I got one already that I'm doing, and that's just that. Dang, I drew a blank that fast. I got sidetracked, man. Maybe it's time to go or something. I don't know.
It is time to go, man. We've been on here 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's always good to have good conversations because
damn, it was a really good point I wanted to make too, because I wanted to say it earlier. I just totally forgot what it was just now. Oh well.
Hey man, thanks for everybody that's tuned in at TikTok, man. Shout out to my brother. My brother, I ain't gonna call your name unless I'm gonna call your name, but shout out to my brother. He on the Bosstown 02. It took me a while to figure that out, but I figured out when I saw Bosstown, I knew you talking about Boston. Boston. Shout out to Boston.
In the Boston.
Boston. Shout out to Boston. I like Dorchester. He don't talk like that though. but his sister do though. She be like Dorchester. I'm like, man, shut your old bad man. They call us country, but sounding like that though.
Hey man.
Yeah, man. So shout out to everybody that tuned in from TikTok, man. It's definitely been a really good conversation, man. I think we should really do something about that Steve Smith situation, man. Not talking about that situation, but what do you do in that type of situation, bro?
Hey man, I tell you what to do real quick as a man, because like I said, the only thing I know how to do as a man.
What's that?
If you are a man and you have to go through your wife's phone or your girl phone, you a sucker, bro. Just that. Because it had to have been something to make him want to go through the phone. But if it got to the point where
maybe she was leaving out a lot. Maybe she was going. Maybe she was doing.
What I'm saying. So listen, this is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation. This is me. You're making me uncomfortable and suspicious about your activities and how you're moving. That's why I told a friend of mine. My number one attribute that I would love to have in a woman is that this woman know how to honor God. That's it. See, church, that's what I said earlier. Churches sometimes will teach women, you're talking about Pentecost, will teach women how to honor a pastor, how to honor a man. That man ain't God.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you how to honor a church, but they won't teach you how to honor God. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by, religious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you honor God, you ain't gonna have no problem honoring a man, your husband. And that'll be the number one attribute that I would want. Because if you can honor him, you will honor me. Because now your first obligation and your duty is unto me. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to sit down, and if you don't honor me and you're not honoring me in that position, and I feel suspicious about some things and you don't want to change, that tells me that you don't want to be here. And you don't want me to be here. So if that's the case, and you got to come up with these lies, and you got to be sneaky, and you got to do this, you got to do that, and you making unusual trips and doing certain things, then yeah, we don't need to be together. We good. And I'm okay saying that, because my thing is, God ain't create me to be miserable. God ain't create me to be going around there, especially if I'm suspecting you of infidelity. And the weird part about infidelity to me in the world today, everything goes. So if you're a married woman and you want to have relationships outside of your marriage, why not have a discussion about it with your husband? I'm not saying that that's something I would encourage that I would do myself. Because if my wife came to me and said, hey, look, man, I want to go hit homeboy over there, I'd be like, all right, cool. Just, I have my stuff packed up by the time you come back. Because there's nowhere in the world you want to do that and be with me. There's obviously something over there you want. So you might as well just go ahead and get it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't stay here because you're comfortable. You obviously is not happy. And that's what I would tell her. Like, it's cool. I'm all right. But that's how I became so confident and comfortable with me. I will never give my identity and who I am away again, ever in life. I would never give that and put that into somebody else. What I think that's what oftentimes people do. They put themselves in identity. And they expect people to cover them and protect them and their feelings, and that's not their job.
Yeah,
that's not nobody else's job but your own. So I answer that real quick. You know, Shorty, you should have said something to your husband. You know, they got cucks out here now. You know what a cuck is?
what's that? What's that?
A cuck is when a married woman have intercourse with another man in front of the husband. And men, and some men like
it. Hold on. Go back. Hold on. You said, hold on.
It's called cucking.
Oh, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts, man. Hold on. Yo,
it's the wild, wild west.
Hold on. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Let me gather my thoughts. You said there's something called a cuck. A cuck.
Yes, cuck.
Okay. And you said this is when a married man,
a married woman,
mm-hmm.
have sex with a man,
sleep with another man.
Yes. And the husband is watching them.
And he's just watching.
Sometimes they'll join in, or sometimes with like dominant women will tie their husbands up.
Hey,
and stuff like that, and make them watch.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you learn a lot in this world when you deal with people, bro. I'm telling you, I've never heard of polygamy so much in the last, maybe I would say 2 years. The last 2 years, the much I ever heard of poly relationships, polyamorous relationships, and
I would say about since COVID, I've heard about poly a lot. Since COVID.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I was never aware of this
I never knew what poly was. I thought it was when I was told about it, it was only in African culture. Oh, you Africans have to have like multiple wives. Now you women in Colorado are lining up to be with 10 other women to be with one man. You stupid. You tell me that it's just African stuff. And now you said there's some women that will tie their husbands up as they screw another man and he's watching.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes it. He's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey man. Hey, listen, that's the world, bro. It's out there. I don't understand the taboo of it. And this is what I want to get into. This may be a conversation we can have. Because the Bible says the bedroom is undefiled. That's something that I need to go back and look at. I need to go back and study and understand what that means. Because if you are married and you're inviting somebody into your bedroom, it's undefiled. At least that's what I was taught.
Yeah, we ain't
got to dive into it now.
Yeah. That's really interesting. That's
interesting. The bedroom is undefiled. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you're married and y'all having these conversations and y'all this and the other, it's not cheating. It's
but
not cheating.
I think
if y'all have these conversations, then it's okay.
I think it's in a sense. When it says that it's undefiled, meaning it's in the sense that what you would have normally did as a non-married couple, if you do that now, it is not a sin before God because you guys are actually married.
Hey man, yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm going to look it up. That's going to be my assignment for this week. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to find it out.
Because I've seen a lot of women. I've seen a lot of women do that.
Tell me that.
I've seen a lot of women do that, and they've lost their husbands to that other woman they brought into the house. So that's defiled.
You gotta know what you got. I don't think it's defiled. You gotta understand what you're getting into when you do it. That's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm the type of person. I'd rather put all my cards on the table. This is what I'm about. This is what I am, and this is what it is. Don't lie to yourself trying to make yourself fit into my box because you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm not going to do is fit into your box. I'm never going to fit into nobody else's box ever again. Never. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to sit down and make sure our foundational pieces fit together and make sure we're going on the right path.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this. Hey, man, thanks for everybody that tuned in on TikTok, man. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't followed us on our TikTok page, follow us at Final Notice Podcast on TikTok. If you also on YouTube, you can follow us on YouTube at Finding Others Podcast on YouTube, and also follow us on Finding Others Podcast on Instagram and Facebook as well. Typically, we don't go on for 2.5 hours. We only go on for 1 hour. But today's
For real?
conversation,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness! I know
yeah,
that.
today's conversation was a conversation that it's a live interactive podcast. So we do it live. So we enjoy the conversation. This is our views. This is not a reflection to anybody or trying to shame anybody. If this is not your view, then it's not your view. But we won't talk bad about you. This is our perspective on topics that we talk about. In today's conversation, the topic was about foundations of relationships. This is a space where you can come on. There's not a judgmental platform where we talk about you or say that, oh, you wrong or you this. We will talk about it from our perspective, and we do accept all perspectives and understand. We don't have to agree, but we can learn to disagree too as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's supposed to be every Thursday, but we're going to change the schedule to Fridays. We came on late today because I just forgot. I was cooking and making dinner, and I was like, "Oh shoot, Aaron's calling. I know something is wrong." But I take the L for this one, so apologize for that today, man. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. What's your final notice for the day before I let these people go for TikTok, man?
Hey, man, please pray. Please meditate and seek the revelation in this conversation that we had. I think it's a very deep conversation that we had. Like I said, we don't profess to know everything, but I understand what God has shown me over the course of my life to come up with these points of views, and it's a better way, or not better, but there's another way of living the way that other than what we were always taught. Stay hungry, stay thirsty for knowledge, and yeah, that's my final thought.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, my final thought is real simple, man. If you have any type of position within the church, and if you can serve without being disrespectful, you should find yourself just sit down. Don't go over there saying you doing things for God and then you treating people in the church like that.
Church.
Yeah, if when you're in the church, all that disrespect and all that shouldn't be coming in the church, man. So especially if your husband is an elder.
Hey, did he ever call you?
The presiding elder called me, but I'm not about to talk to them about that. At the end of the day, it's not really something that, because they already know who she is. They already know how the person is. My only thing is it's an embarrassment to the husband, because remember, she is a representation of the husband.
It's an embarrassment to the organization too, though.
Well, that's dumb. At the end of the day, I don't go for titles. I don't care for titles. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if he has a title as an elder in the church, and you are his wife, and you going around disrespecting people, that's not right. It's not right at all. And if I was a first time member visiting looking for a church home, and I noticed that, I'm not coming back.
1,000%.
I'm not coming back.
You good. I ain't gonna lie, you good, because you stayed.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let nobody hurt my baby. We out of there.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say, hey, if you are,
he said, Jesus said, render unto Caesar what's due unto Caesar. And since I'm in Rome, I'm gonna do what the Romans do, baby. You disrespect my baby and make my baby cry. Ain't no God in here.
Oh, okay. Like, come on. But that's not funny because
I'll later.
She's lucky I didn't have a topic about it. But yeah, man, she really violated. And to be honest with you, I just looked at it and I was like, you know what? That's why I deal with certain type of Africans, man. I like my Africans who are from Africa, not the ones who come to America to get Americanized and think they're better than somebody. I don't chase titles. I've always been the same person. I've always been humble from my village to where I'm at right now. I've never changed. The only thing I've changed is maybe my English got a little bit better, but my accent is still my accent. I can turn it on like it's a light switch. You know why? Because I love interacting. I love interacting with my Africans from back home. The ones who come up here, they forget. Don't forget where you was at. You know better than me. You're not better than me, and I'm not better than you. So if you want me to respect you as a woman, you also got to give me respect as a man. I don't think I did
Yeah, I was
anything
gonna say,
wrong. You cannot just sit here and talk to me like I'm a child. Like I'm 41 years old. You know what I'm saying? My mother's in DC. You're not my mother, and you damn sure ain't my wife talking to me like that. You crazy. My wife talk to me with respect, and I talk to her with respect. I don't
that's
take
what's
out the trash when she want me to take out the trash, but it gets done though. Yeah, clock that. You better clock that. Aaron, she gonna tell me, oh, the trash is full. Yup, ain't got space for one more bucket to go in there. She get mad about that. What I'm supposed to do? I'm sorry, and then I take it out. Hey man, it's a system. It works, man. You know what they used to say in NA, Narcotic Anonymous? They used to say, if it works, if you allow it to work, it works.
That's right.
So she has to allow it to work because that trash bag ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. You spend about $20-something for that scented trash, and she want me to take it when it's half full. Nah, I don't work like that, man. We're gonna get everything in there we can get in there, and then I'm gonna take it out. Anyway, that's another topic for another day.
I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, man, for how you handled that situation, man. That's all.
I thought I could have did better, bro. I thought I could have did better because I felt like I was letting her get me to the point of me disrespecting her, and I didn't want to disrespect her because I know her husband. And I didn't want to. I told her, I said, I'm not your typical Ghanaian. I will cuss you out like I'm a black.
Lord Jesus.
Oh, I told her that because she was, man. Anyways, man.
Thank God for deliverance, man.
Man, thank God for mercy. Thank God for God's, unconditional love because nobody's perfect. But I will say this though, I've told you, I've learned to meet people where they are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad. I just thought it was a bad situation. But I don't know you for me to dislike you. But I know to respect your space because now if I see you, I'm not gonna speak because I have to respect space. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I am. I don't take it that personal because at the end of the day, what would it look like? We both from the same church home, you know. But anyways, man. But yeah, man. All right, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Next week Friday, same time at 8:30. Sorry for being late today, man. This one is on me, man.
Have a blessed night.
All right.